Okay, this is like the fourth video on this Show Me assignment. This is the only assignment you've had so far this year that you couldn't just look the answers up on the internet. The only assignment you've had where you couldn't just look the answers up on the internet. So let's take a minute and go through it. And I've broken it down into steps. First thing I'm going to do is take the original problem and write it at the bottom. Whatever that problem is, I'm going to write it at the bottom because I'm going to need that to do line 7. Line 1, write the FOIL components. Line 2, 2 factors for each letter. Line 3, factor out x and simplify. So write the FOIL components, 2 factors for each letter, factor out x, and simplify. Write what each component equals from the original problem. Equate coefficients. That means if you ignore the x's, the things you have are equal. So number 1, write the FOIL components, 2 factors for each letter, factor out x and simplify, write what each component equals, and equate coefficients. Now that you have an equation, you can solve the equation and rewrite the problem using the solutions you got from line 6. So that's how it works. Write the components, 2 factors for each letter, factor out x and simplify, write what each component equals, equate coefficients, solve those equations, and then use those solutions. Let's look at how that works with a problem. To start with, I'm going to rewrite that problem at the bottom. 3x plus h, kx plus 2. 3x plus h, 3x plus h, 3x plus h, kx, and try real hard to make sure your k does not look like an x, plus 2, equals ax squared plus 2x minus 4. I'm going to need that for line 7. When I get to line 7, I'm going to replace h, k, and a with numbers when I get to line 7. All right, let's go back up to the top. Line 1, write the FOIL components. Line 2, if you want to copy down what I had at the beginning of the video, you can stop and go back and copy that down. Line 2, 2 factors for each letter. 2 factors for each letter. O plus I, L. And the factors are 3x and kx. Make sure your k doesn't look like an x. For the last, h and 2. And for the outside, I have 3x plus 3x times 2. And for the inside, I have h times kx. H times kx. And make sure that k doesn't look like an x. Line 3, factor out x's and simplify. These x's are being multiplied, so that's x squared and 3k left. These x terms are being added, so that's just x times, now when you factor out your x, you have 6 plus hk, 6 plus hk. And there are no x's here, so you just have 2h. Line 4, going back to look at your original sheet, what is line 4? We write what those components equal. From the problem, the x squareds equal a. From the problem, the x squareds equal ax squared. The x's equal 2x's, and my constant equals -4. Step 5, equate coefficients. There are no more x's after step 5 in your equations. We're going to take all the x's out and equate the coefficients. The coefficients here are 3k and a. After I take my x's out, the coefficients are 3k and a, and I'm going to equate the coefficients. After you take the x's out of this one, your coefficients are 6 plus hk and 2, and I'm going to equate the coefficients. There are no x's here, so 2h equals -4. Looking back at your sheet, line 6, we solve those equations. Divided, that one doesn't equal a number, does it? That's the last one I'm going to solve. Let's start on the other side. Dividing by 2, h equals -2. Going backwards, 6 plus -2k equals +2. -2k is -4, adding a -6 to both sides. K is 2. And now if k is 2, that says 3 times 2 equals a, or a equals 6. I have solved my equations. I now know what h equals, what k equals, and what a equals. And let's rewrite the problem, line 7. Let's rewrite the problem using those values. I have 3x plus h. 3x plus h. H was -2. You could write plus -2. I just wrote -2. Now I have kx plus 2. Kx plus 2. And the problem equals ax squared plus 2x minus 7. All I did was replace the things in green with the numbers I solved for. I replaced the things in green with the numbers that I solved for. Let's try another one. Line 1, write the FOIL components. Line 2, 2 factors for each letter. Now, the factors for the first are hx and 5x. hx and 5x. The components for the last are -2. The factors for the last are -2 and k. -2 and k. And the factors for the middle are the outsides, the big wave, hx and k. Make sure your k doesn't look like an x. Those are the outsides. And the insides, -2 and 5x. Line 3, factor out your x and regroup. Why is that x squared? Because they're being multiplied together. And when I factor out my x out of this one, I have hk minus 10. hk minus 10. Why is this one not x squared? Because they're not being multiplied, they're being added. And finally, -2k. I factored out my x's and simplified. Line 4, looking at your sheet that you copied down at the beginning of the video, write what they equal. The x squareds equals 15 x squareds. The x's equal 2 x's. And the constant equals c. Line 5, equate coefficients, and there will be no x's because you're going to take all the x's out and equate what's left. I have 5h equals 15 if I take the x's out and equate what's left. I have hk minus 10 equals 2 if I take the x's out and equate what's left. And there are no x's in this one, so negative 2k equals c. And make sure your k does not look like an x. Which is the last one I'm going to solve? That one equals a number, that one equals a number, this one does not equal a number. That's the last one I'm going to solve. I'm going to start on the outside and work in. Line 6, solve your equations. Dividing by 5, h equals 3. If h equals 3, that says 3k minus 10 equals 2. 3k, by adding a positive 10 to both sides, equals 12. K equals 4. And if k equals 4, negative 2 times 4 equals c. C equals negative 8. So line 7, I forgot to write the original problem down. hx minus 2, 5x plus k. hx minus 2, 5x plus k equals 15x squared, 2x and c. And using the answers I found, that says hx minus 2, this is line 7, 5x plus k equals 15x squared plus 2x plus c. You could put plus a negative 8 there. I just wrote minus c. And look once again what you've done. You've taken all the letters, the coefficients, the constants, and replaced them with the solutions that you found. I hope that helps. Send me your corrections, and I'll take care of it.